Hello, friends. Another week. Blah, 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 blah. Say it every time, but it is a nice opportunity for me every week to show some gratitude to God, to the universe, for keeping me here just a little longer to keep pursuing a happy, full life and making whatever impact I can on the world. It's episode 10. Diez. That's 10 in Spanish. Episode 10. When I first posted the initial idea for Mental Health Mondays on Instagram just over 2 months ago, I didn't necessarily think I would turn it into something I look forward to every week. I didn't really know what it was going to be. And I've even had other people looking forward to it as well, which is a nice feeling. I'm super grateful that it's helped me a little bit, and it's also helped make even a little difference in a small number of people's lives. And I'm excited to keep it going. And at some point this week, I am going to finally start a Discord channel. I don't even know if that's what it's actually called, but that's what I'm saying it is. Discord, so people can join and bounce their ideas back and forth and their struggles, their triumphs. Just so we can bounce stuff off of each other and we can all just lean on each other and uplift one another. Because the bottom line is we are all going through something in one way or another. And we all have times where we need to lean on others to make it through our struggles and whatnot, our dark times, all that stuff. So I'm excited for that because I think it can expand the reach of the podcast. And really, I'm not trying to be like a beacon of hope or some like shining example of perfect mental health because I'm not that. I'm not trying to act like I have it all figured out by any means. I'm just trying to share any wisdom I can that I've learned throughout my years of dealing with mental health struggles. And I know that all of us that face similar struggles have things that do and do not work for us. So I'm just excited for people to kind of start communicating about it. So look for that this week. I had to lean away from the microphone to burp because I just had amazing tacos filming the episode a little late. But anyways, so in honor of it being episode 10, here this week are 10 things I think can change your mental health for the better immediately if you try to accept them and adopt them into your daily life. So, number 1, be honest and open. This means being honest with yourself and others around you. Being self-aware and pulling yourself aside and asking the tough questions like, am I really okay? Are there any ways I can adjust my behavior to improve my mental health? Am I positioning myself every day for happiness, or am I enslaved to a pattern of negative thoughts and spending most of my time doing things I don't enjoy for artificial reasons that have nothing to do with my well-being? Things like that, and many more questions. Being honest with yourself is a huge step toward mental health recovery, and being able to take that mental inventory so that you can change anything that needs to be changed for the better is so massively important. But equally important is being honest with those around you. Mental health can be an awkward subject, of course, we all know, but it is becoming less and less stigmatized every day. So take that break if you need it. Let your boss know, hey, I'm having a tough time, having a tough go of it mentally right now. I just need a couple minutes. And if you aren't in a position where you can feel comfortable doing that, either 1, change it, because that's possible, or 2, make sure to be honest with people like your family, friends, and significant others. The people who care for us most and are around us most usually have an easier time seeing when something's not quite right, when something's a little off, but we can't expect that they always will know. So being able to open up and not feel scared to what the reaction is key. Letting the people around you know where you're at mentally can be such a huge help for those times when we need to lean on someone else and don't feel like we can push through by ourselves. Something that has greatly helped me and my partner is just coming on saying, hey, I'm feeling really anxious right now, or I can feel a panic attack coming, and that allows the other person to shift their focus toward lending a hand to you when you need it. Maybe just dropping what they're doing, like, oh, okay, how can I help you? So that's, I think, a very helpful tip. It's something I've been utilizing quite a bit, is just being honest with myself, being honest with my partner, being honest with my friends, my family. Obviously, this is a pretty big indicator that sometimes I have some stuff going on, but just honesty, man. It's not as hard as you think it is. Just be open. Be open to feeling a little bit uncomfortable with being honest about your mental health, because I promise it will help in the end. Number 2 is make checklists. Corny? Yes. Does it work? Yes. Not only can making checklists help improve your productivity, obviously, but it can also greatly aid in mitigating your anxieties and your worries. Visually seeing the tasks you want to achieve on paper and having them all in front of you to help you realize, oh, okay, this isn't as bad as I was making it out to be. I know, at least for me, that not writing it all down and just having all these millions of things I want to get done go swirling around in my head all day is the quickest way to make myself as anxious as possible. And it also pushes me away from completing any of it. Realizing it is not one big monster to slay, and it's really just a bunch of different small, very doable tasks can really help take some of the pressure and doubt away from our minds. It's also really helpful to make checklists on the mental health side of things too. Try making a list of things you want to see improve about your mental health. Again, with the same principle that visually seeing them on paper can help you to manage your time in which you allot to these things and which things to tackle first. So if it's like, all right, I have social anxiety, but like if you're dealing with social anxiety, but also depression or also grief or something, be like, all right, today I'm gonna take time to really confront this in my own head and try to get to the root of it. Why am I feeling this way? Is there ways that I can change things? That kind of thing. But having it on a checklist so that it's not like all of these mental health issues are coming at you at once can help you a bit to like really hone in on one and give one its proper due and proper time to work on it and actually improve something instead of thinking it's all unmanageable. And obviously, like I said, that goes for your daily tasks as well. I know a lot of us, I know I can definitely attest to this, that when I think about all the things I need / want to achieve in a given day, it makes me very intimidated. But when I write them all down, it's like, oh yeah, that won't take me that long if I do this. Oh, okay, all of a sudden I already did 3 of the 10 things that I want to do, and it's only been an hour and a half. It takes a lot less time than you think. And I think proper time management skills also super, super, super helpful in improving your mental health. Not wasting your time doing shit that is really, in a lot of ways, hurting your mental health in and of itself because of the manner of what it is. So not wasting your time doing those things and actually allotting certain amounts of times to getting things done that you need to get done, it improves your mental health. Guaranteed. Put my stamp of approval on it. Number 3, drink more water and eat a healthy diet. They're both kind of intertwined. Duh, you literally need water to survive, obviously, but I can almost guarantee you do not drink enough water. In one 2018 study, all right, let me try. I just drank coffee. I need to drink more water. I'm getting a little carried away here. In one 2018 study of over 3,000 adults, those who drank more water had a lower risk of anxiety and depression than those who drank less water. Though the connection between dehydration and depression was stronger, meaning if you're dehydrated, you had a stronger chance of being depressed, researchers found that anxiety was higher in those who didn't drink enough water. So if you don't drink enough water, you also will have a higher risk of anxiety. Keeping hydrated is so important for our mental clarity and overall health. Eating a healthy, balanced diet is just as key in making sure our bodily functions are all running properly, running smoothly, the machine is going, not gumming up the works, everything's going good. And if we're being honest with ourselves, it's not nearly as difficult as we make it out to be to eat healthy. Eat out less and avoid all fast foods. All that shit is garbage. All of it's bad for you. It's definitely bad for your mental health. And if you can't cook, if you don't know how, if you're not good at it, that's just another excuse, to be quite honest with you. YouTube has 7 million tutorials and healthy recipes and shit that make preparing a healthy, balanced meal super feasible. So I know that I love to eat out. That's like my favorite thing in the world. But I know that it also costs way too much money and is a complete waste of money. And if it's not the healthiest of options, it's not good for my body. So knowing those two things, knowing that if I try to do that less, clearly my mental health will be better, healthier diet. My pockets aren't hurting as much, so I'm not anxious about that. Promise you, healthy diet, very good for you, very good for your mental health. That sounds very redundant and obvious. It is obvious, but these are my 10 tips. Take it or leave it, dude. And also drink more water. Promise you. I was just thinking before this podcast started, because something I do unintentionally, I guess, sometimes is like, I feel like if I love coffee, at least 1 cup a day, typically 2, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and get me through the end of the day. I feel like a lot more times than I've realized, I'll take a sip of coffee and then immediately take a sip of water. And I was thinking, that's a pretty good principle for like staying hydrated. If you're gonna drink something else other than water, hopefully not soda, super bad for you. Don't suggest it for your overall health and especially your mental health as well in this case. If you're going to drink something other than water, maybe try to match every sip of something you take a sip of water directly after so that you know that your body is getting proper hydration. Sometimes you might feel like you're quenching your thirst with like a sugary drink or something. You're not. You might feel less thirsty, but you're not getting more hydrated. So I think maybe that's an interesting or potential way to help boost your hydration is every sip of something you take, tea, coffee, whatever the fuck else, Gatorade. I don't know. Do people drink Gatorade anymore? I haven't been in an organized sport in fucking years. I don't know. Try to take some water, the same amount of water in your system as well. Staying hydrated is super important. Literally lubricates your brain. H2O does. Need that. Don't want it to be dry brain, okay? Excuse moi. Speaking of which, let me take another sip of coffee. Marry everything. But only marry the one you love. And some water. See? Automatically. I just did it without even trying. Delicious. Tripping it all over myself and everything. Amazing. What a waste of your time this is. Just kidding. Keep listening. Number 4, exercise. Goes right in with the last one, obviously. From personal experience, I can tell you there is a night and day difference in my mental health when I work out consistently and eat healthy, drink plenty of water, versus the periods of time I've spent quite often eating garbage food and being super lazy. It seems like when we're stuck in a depressive state, that exercise is one of the first things to go out the window. Like we feel paralyzed by our worries and want to hide away forever or something. Like stay in the room, shades drawn, blanket, all that, you know, the typical, stereotypical tropes of being depressed. I promise you, the moment you peel yourself out of that bed, get moving, you will feel better. I promise you. When you engage in high-intensity exercise, your body and brain produce hormones and neurotransmitters that have a positive impact on your mood, memory, energy levels, and sense of well-being, endorphins. And besides the fact that it's literally just good for your body chemistry, I always feel this little sense of pride and accomplishment when I get done working out. I feel better about myself. I stand up a little straighter. Because truthfully, I don't want to do it. It's hard. It sucks. It takes time. It's not easy. It's much easier to just sit there and be lazy. But I know it's good for me, and the second I'm done, I feel so much better about myself. Boom. Positive self-reassurance in your mind instead of bashing yourself for being a lazy slob. At least I know that helps me not do that. Number 5, reduce the screen time, big dog. Listen, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite because I know you're watching this on some form of social media right now, but we have to do our best to limit ourselves. I've talked about it in previous episodes, but mindlessly scrolling for hours a day and filling your mind with garbage is so bad for our mental health. Take control of what you do take in on your phone, computer, television, and reduce the screen time altogether. We are a part of nature. Don't forget that. We are organic beings. Technology has become a normal, necessary part of our lives, sure, but our minds and bodies still yearn to be outside and take in the fresh air and make new experiences and memories in real life. Give yourself the chance to do this. Be in the moment. Put the phone down. Literally, no one cares that you were 90 rows up at a weekend concert. No offense. And that's another problem with social media in general. The constant subconscious comparison between ourselves and others we see on socials is destroying our mental health as young people. And the sad part is none of it is real. 99% of people only post the most positive things about their lives that they can. Filtered images and inorganic, candid moments. We've all been somewhere where someone is like, take a picture of me. And then they fucking hate it. And then they post it anyway and put some caption that makes it seem like their life is perfect. Listen, ignore it, put it down, keep it in perspective. None of it really matters. I know it can be entertaining. That's fine. I know that it almost seems like you're missing out or you'll be left behind if you're not constantly on it. I get that, but limit the screen time. I promise you it'll boost your mental health. Number 6, get more sleep. Maybe my favorite tip I can give you, because I love to sleep. Our bodies and our brains need sleep to recover. It is so important in trying to establish a solid base of mental health, to sleep enough. I know that this one can be more difficult for some than it is others, but it's key. These past 2 weeks, for the first time in a long time, I've really struggled to get a solid 7 to 8 hours of sleep, straight sleep every night, and I've definitely noticed it has adversely affected my mental health. Sleep helps maintain cognitive skills such as attention, learning, and memory, such that poor sleep can make it much more difficult to cope with even relatively minor stressors and can even impact our ability to perceive the world accurately. Boom. Don't want to do that. I already have trouble perceiving the world accurately as it is. I need my sleep. Something that does help me get to bed a bit easier, like I said, get off that screen. Try to reduce artificial light at least an hour before bed, which is proven to improve our sleep habits. And maybe try reading instead of binging something on TV. I used to love watching TV before I go to bed. Now I don't do it nearly as much. It helps knock off 2 boxes because it takes that flashing artificial light from the TV away, and also reading makes you a little sleepy. At least it makes me sleepy. Every time I start reading, I'm like a chapter in, maybe 10 pages in, and I'm like starting to doze off. I got to read 3 pages back again because I don't remember any of it. But it's still a better thing for your brain than just watching something on television right before you go to bed. Again, garbage in, garbage out. It's a little bit better stimulus for your brain than just watching some mindless television shit. And it'll make you sleep easier. So highly recommend maybe reading a little bit before bed instead of watching television. But regardless, need to get enough sleep, need your body to recover, need your mind to recover. If your body can't do its natural fucking thing of healing itself, then your psyche will never be healed because you won't have the means to do it. If there's damage here, there's damage here. So sleep is very, very important. Let me sit up straight a little. It's so dumb because I like that this is a podcast and it's better that way and it's more cooler. But let's be honest, not a lot of people right now are watching all the way through. So I have to make sure that I can edit this good for social media because that gets a little bit more traction. So I just had to set up straight for anyone who's watching, and just because I was sagging a little and then I felt a little chubsy wubsy. So anyways. Number 7, embrace alone time. Don't feel lonely. Look within. You're in there somewhere and can spend some time with yourself or something. And we're alone when we're alone, we have the best chance of really sitting with our feelings and letting ourselves feel them fully. It is when we are alone that we can truly unpack everything we have going on in our lives and deal with it accordingly. Blast that sad song, have a good cry, beautiful, do it. Go do something you truly love and enjoy alone. We all need others to lean on at times, but they can't always be there. So you need to improve the relationship you have with yourself before all others. Poor relationship with ourselves equals poor relationship with others equals poor mental health all around. I promise you, if you listen back to the episode of Solitude, something or other, I talked about it at length then, but I still feel the same way. Being alone is super important. Not lonely, being alone. To taking a mental inventory, being honest with yourself, as tip number 1 was, the best chance you get to do that is when you're completely alone. And you can have everything around you be quiet, meditation, anything like that. That is all so important, to look inward instead of outward and improve your mental health that way. Number 8, remember and accept you're gonna die someday. For some people, this can cause anxiety and depression, but for me, this has always reduced it. Reminding myself how fleeting the gift of life is, how small my life is in the grand scheme of the universe, always puts into perspective my stresses and worries. You, just like everyone else before you and everyone else after you, is going to die one day. Sorry. And we don't even have all that much control on when or how that happens. So don't stress too much about your grand plans for life. It's not as messy and complicated as we make it out to be. Just be happy. Just work on being happy. Just focus on being happy from moment to moment. Take pleasure in the little things, and the big things will take care of themselves. But just remember, one day you're gonna die, and it's okay. That's just part of life. It's natural. It's supposed to happen. It's one of the only things that is certain, is that it will end for you one day. In this world, at least, in this physical form. And keeping that in perspective when you're worrying about the dumbest little things, you're gonna die one day. I don't want you to worry about it, but worry about that compared to fucking some of the stuff else, other shit we worry about. That's ridiculous. So it always helps me to just keep in perspective. Obviously not panicky, oh my God, I'm gonna die one day, because that can make you rush. Don't rush. It's okay. The whole point is that none of this is that serious. Not that you're going to die one day, so you better get it done now while you have the time. No. Yes, you should get it done now in terms of being happy. You should be happy now because you don't have that much time. You don't know when it's all going to end. But that just goes to show that all your grand plans for the future could be over like that without any of your control, because no matter what, it's coming, brother. So you got to just accept you're going to die one day. And sometimes, if you can look at it in the correct way, it can lift a lot of your anxiety and stress instead of causing more of it, instead of intensifying the feelings that we have of pressure. It's the great motivator. Death is the great motivator for sure. But I think of all things, it should motivate you to be happy, because you're not guaranteed a certain amount of time on this earth. If we all knew that we were going to live a certain amount of time, we all knew for sure, it was certain that at 70 years old or at 80 years old, we were going to die, I think the world would look a lot differently. Ooh. And now this podcast looks a lot differently because I just kicked the camera. Anyways, that leads to number 9, stay present. All we have is this moment, and if we're blessed, we'll get another moment. But the only real truth there is in the universe is now. Right now is happening. Feel your feelings now. Don't put them off for another day that might never even come. Smell the flowers, watch the birds fly, be sad, be happy, be angry, be in love. Feel that shit. Feel it out. Feelings are fleeting, but we feel them from moment to moment for a reason. And in each moment we are present, there is a lesson for another moment that is yet to come. If you can string together a bunch of moments where you are present and content, you will have lived a happy, full life when it's all said and done. Don't shy away from emotions that we attach negativity to either. Those ones are important too. There's no happiness without sadness. There's no sunshine without rain. Every moment has its purpose, and staying in the moment is the only way to unlock true happiness. That's all we have is the moment, dude. Right now. You spending your time listening to me, this is all we have, you and me together right now. It just happened to be yesterday for me, and now you're listening to it tomorrow or in the future somewhere. But right now is all we have. Have you ever really, 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 truly felt like you're right in the pocket of time, right in the moment? It's a blissful, incredible feeling. Now imagine if you could do that 90% of your time or more, or even a little less. It's still, if you can spend a majority of your time, a majority of your mental health and your mental investment in the now, your life will improve tenfold. I promise you. It's something I struggle with, but it's something I know works. Every time I get anxious or depressed, I have to be like, whoa, breathe. You're right here, right now. Tomorrow hasn't happened yet and might never happen, and yesterday already happened. So be here right now. Feel through this shit, get through this shit, and just experience it. Again, like I said before, the social media stuff. Don't go to a concert and film 70% of it on your phone. You will never watch those videos again. I promise. We all were younger. Remember, like a family friend or like your aunt or uncle or even your parents or something would like go on a vacation, and then when they come back, they feel like they have to show you 950 pictures that you'll never truly appreciate because you weren't there with them. Kind of a waste of time. Don't bother. I understand, like, sometimes it's nice to have a keepsake, a picture of a moment. Oh, beautiful. A picture is fantastic. A little video is fine. But filming the whole fucking thing, what are you doing? You're not actually, that means you're, like, worried in the moment of, like, oh, is this good or not? Or you're just holding it up and it looks like shit anyways. Either way, it's a waste of your time. Be in the moment. Be in the moment. The memories that we create are always better in retrospect, but that's a shame. I feel like when you look back on certain amazing things you did, it's like glorified now because it's like, it's like very sentimental and very what's that word? Nostalgic. But being happy truly happy in a moment. I know something I struggle with is I'll be having a great time, and then all of a sudden it'll hit me like, oh, this isn't forever. It's so sad sounding, like this isn't gonna last forever. And I'm not going to be happy forever because that's so shitty. That's such a waste of your mental space. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your life. It's a waste of your happiness. Be present. Live in the moment. Enjoy things as they come to you. I promise you, your mental health will improve. And number 10, maybe the most important one, breathe. Breathe in and out. Take a step back and breathe. Feeling anxious or depressed? Step back and breathe. Feeling happy or in awe? Step back and breathe. When I'm having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, the most helpful thing I can do is to take controlled, purposeful breaths. Focus on the air entering through your nose. Feel it go down your core, into your lungs. Feel it come back out of your mouth and breathe. Breathing is life. As long as there is still air in your lungs, you can overcome whatever it is that you're dealing with. If you start to feel anxious or panicky, notice that there is still breath in your lungs. Use your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you smell? This will also help snap your brain back into the present, back into the moment like I was just talking about, so that you can deal with each present moment instead of getting overwhelmed by the whole of your life all at once. And scientifically, making sure enough oxygen is getting to the brain is key to cognitive function and overall well-being, of course. Activity in amygdala suggests that quick breathing rate may trigger feelings like anxiety, anger, or fear. And other studies have shown that we tend to be more attuned to fear when we're breathing quickly. So conversely, it may be possible to reduce fear and anxiety by slowing down our breath. Deep breathing is one of the best ways to lower stress in the body. This is because when you breathe deeply, it sends a message to your brain to calm down and relax. The brain then sends this message to your body. And breathing exercises are a good way to relax, reduce tension, and relieve stress. And it just snaps you back into the moment when you take a purposeful breath. When something seems to be too overwhelming, immediately you will feel better. You will feel that you have a better chance of accomplishing your task. You will feel you have a better chance of overcoming this fear or anxiety that you're facing. Breathe. When you're short of breath, you're fucked if you continue that or let that continue. If you let that continue, you're fucked. It's only going to make your anxiety worse. It's only going to make your panic attack, whatever, worse. If you can stop for a second and really truly breathe, like they say that, oh, I need some fresh air to breathe. That's why people have been saying for a cajillion years, like, oh, I just need some fresh air to breathe. You need to breathe. You need to make sure you get enough oxygen into your lungs, into your bloodstream, into your brain, boom, out. It feels fantastic, and it does help snap you out of whatever you're going through for at least a moment. Makes you realize, okay, I got breath in there. I'm still alive. This isn't going to kill me. I'm okay. Immediately your heart rate slows. Get a little less anxious, a little less panicked. Back to an even keel. Now you can attack your issues and actually overcome whatever you're facing. So, this list is subject to change, but as of right now, in this moment in which I am still breathing, during episode 10 of this podcast, those are the 10 most helpful things I can think of to immediately positively affect your mental health and well-being. Like I said, first of all, most of those things I've already talked about on this podcast. I thought it would be, I was lost, didn't know what to talk about. Boom, easy list, 10 things, blah, 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 blah. That's why I came up with the list. But genuinely, I think that if you do adapt those 10 things seems like a lot, but it's really not. They're all pretty self-explanatory. A lot of them happen subconsciously. Once you train yourself to, like, take those trained breaths, or those intentional breaths, to drink more water and exercise, eat well, to be honest and open with yourself about your mental health and those around you, to get some alone time. Like, all these things start to add together, and then all this, if you could do half of those things, your life will improve. But if you could do all 10 of those things, I guarantee you your overall anxiety levels and depression will go down. You feel a lot happier, you'll feel a lot more at peace. Those are 10 things that I've been working on, especially since coming off the medication, and I promise you they've helped tremendously. I highly, 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 highly recommend you try to adopt those into your life too. Speaking of which, this is my second week off of antidepressants. Boom. 2 weeks down, still kicking, still at it. Way better. Way better this week. 1,000 times better. Still the withdrawal symptoms, for sure. Still the electrical shocks. They seem to pick up at night now. I don't know. I don't know if there's real science behind when they would take place. But it seems like when I don't know, the other night, I was like, I thought I was going to be able to shoot fucking electricity on my fingertips or something. Has yet to happen, by the way. That would be such a sick origin story for some modern day depressed superhero. I stopped taking antidepressants, and the side effects are these electrical currents, and then they start coming out of my body. What would be a good name for a sad electric superhero? I don't know. I wish I was quicker right now. I wish I had someone else in here to bounce things back and forth, because then I probably would be able to come up with something funny. Anyways, second week off. Feeling much better. That has been pretty steady, but I don't know if I'm just getting more used to it, or I think it's probably happening a little less often, which is fantastic, because it is a weird feeling. It doesn't really hurt or cause pain, but it's just a very uncomfortable feeling, and like it kind of just reminds you like, oh yeah, my body feels like it's missing something right now. I've definitely been had a little bit easier of a time managing my like day-to-day shit that was making me go cuckoo for that week. My thoughts, the like dark thoughts, they have not been there nearly as much. I think also though, after having such a shitty week last week, I like purposely focused on trying to make sure that I felt better mentally this week, which is good. Obviously, you don't want to go through the shittiest, the level of shitty week I had last week or 2 weeks ago now. You don't want to go through that, but in a way, it was kind of a blessing in disguise, because it reset me. It was like, hey, you have to actively work at improving your anxiety and depression. It's not just going to like go away, because I was feeling so much better before that. And then when I went fully off the medication, everything seemed to take 10 steps back. But this week, I felt way better. Still definitely moments where I let the anger get the best of me. There were definitely moments where I'm just like, depression's a bitch. It's not, because it's not always like I'm so sad about life. It's just like, I don't know. I just feel apathetic about everything. I'm not happy or sad. I'm just bleh. So a little bit more of that this week, but I feel like I'd rather feel that than like the dark, shitty thoughts that I felt the week previously. So it's all heading in the right direction. I feel next Friday Sunday, Monday, whatever the fuck, next time I speak with you, I'm sure that I will feel that much better again. So I'm pretty confident that I'm going to be okay, and that I don't regret my decision. I think it's for the better in the long run. I don't want to be relying on that stuff. So I'm pretty happy with how I have felt this past week, especially the past couple days. I think the beginning of the week was still a bit of and then just, same old shit, just trying to stay busy. The EP is a pain in the ass, because there's so many things I'm trying to do with it, but then also trying not to be focused on the results too much, because that's not what it's all about, but at the same time it's important. That's been a struggle for me a little bit mentally, because like obviously I want it to be doing way better than it is. It's doing pretty well, but not as well as maybe other things I've released under a different in a previous group. I don't know why I said that. Like I don't know. That was weird. I take that back. Like the April '94 shit. Whenever we dropped, once we got a certain level of traction, it like automatically got put on people's playlists and things like that. So that's been annoying. It's also just one of the annoying parts of like being an independent artist. Whatever. I want it at the end of the day. That's a very small price to pay for what I want ultimately for my life. To just make music and make a living and be happy and travel and play music in different amazing parts of the world. If I can do that, I'll take this shit that I'm dealing with. Are you kidding me? It's a fucking... Never mind. It's a cakewalk, really. Honestly, dude, I'm such a bitch. No, I don't want to negatively speak about myself. I'm not a bitch. It's my anxieties and worries are real. So plenty of self-judgment and self-criticism that goes into it that's not good for my mental health. So I don't mean to say I'm a bitch. But in the grand scheme, again, it's just something that usually helps me keep in perspective my issues. I'm not laying pipe. Whoa, sexual connotation, not what I meant. I'm not laying wire. What's that expression? I'm not laying, I don't know, it doesn't matter. I'm not working some hard manual labor job, which I did at one point in my life, and that's hard. That's real hard work. So I don't know what I'm complaining about. Ooh, there's not enough plays on my song, and I have to email another person. In the grand scheme, none of that matters to the universe, so I'm still so blessed and lucky that I'm pursuing what I want. So, yeah. Second week off, feel much better. The EP's doing okay. still working on that stuff. Just shot again with Joel this past week, and to continue the comeback music video shoot a couple months, probably a month away from that ever coming out still. Maybe even longer. Who knows? Yeah, overall, my mental health's been pretty good. I feel a lot better this week. Last week stunk. This week didn't. It half stunk. But it half was pretty damn good. So that's good. That's better than last week. Now let me improve on it this week. But again, the only way to do that is to focus on the moment. Moment to moment. String them together. Everything will be good. So that's what I'm trying to do. And then I'm not doing a song breakdown this weekend, or this episode, because I realized the second song on the EP doesn't really have that much to do with mental health. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't take the time to write it out. Also, it was such a bitch to edit a fucking reel for that, and it didn't even perform that well because it didn't. Because no one really knows who I am yet, so why would they really care unless they're already a fan of mine to hear me break down a song that they aren't going to listen to? So it was a little bit maybe premature in some ways, but I'm gonna do it again anyway because it's good content and stuff. But I just didn't really write it out this week. Me and Jay wanted to go do some stuff. I wrote out this stupid list, and so maybe next week I'll break down the second song on the Humania EP, which is streaming now on all streaming platforms. So I think that's about it. How long are we going here? What a weird episode. In some ways, it was so structured, and then some, it wasn't structured at all. And also, I just opened Spotify on accident. So, there's that, too. Shithole. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. Plenty of time. Perfect. Fucking perfect. Thank you again for listening. Thank you so much. If you're a new listener, I appreciate it. What an episode for you to have just started on. Again, I'm going to start the Discord, and whenever I start it this week, I'll put the link under each video for sure, and I'll blast people on social media who I know are interested in stuff. I'd like to expand it as much as possible. I just think that there's real power in people helping people. So that is my plan. And as always, I got to remember I got this. You got to remember you got this. And if not, we got this. We got each other's back. We will push through. We will make it to the other side. And the other side is just true contentness and happiness and positive mental health. So thank you again for listening. See you next week. Peace out.